Alrighty, everybody. I am back from Arizona, and today is a recap of all of the signatures that I got down in the warm state of Arizona between spring training as well as a music event called the Innings Festival. Along the way, as I share these, I'll share some anecdotes of interactions with these players as well as maybe some tips and tricks to help you on your in person autograph pursuits. So, starting up here at the Innings Festival, it's a baseball themed music festival that happens around the first weekend of spring training. And what's cool for me as a lover of music, the night I went was Mumford and Sons as the headlining act. The other two nights that I did not go to were 21 Pilots and Blink 182, but they will have MLB appearances. And so starting up here, we got Dontrell Willis, great dude, hit some golds as well as some complete sets. Actually, I have 2005 Donruss Elite, 2008 Upper Deck Baseball Heroes, and really nice guy. So it was fun interacting with him. What else was cool about Dontrell Willis is for 15 years now, I have been in possession. I worked on a Cincinnati Reds team ball that I got signed by a bunch of pitchers. And you can see here, I had Dontrell Willis add himself to this ball that I've had for 15 years. So a bunch of random pitchers. I got these all at Busch Stadium. Way back in the day, they all came out and were super cool. But I was telling Dontrell Willis, I'm like, hey, man, this might be the most random thing you sign all day. And while he didn't have a great time with the Reds performance-wise generally, he told me a story, and he said, Busch Stadium was so great to play because one day I went up against Chris Carpenter, great Cardinal fan favorite. He was, Cy Young. I think he won in 2005 actually, but really good pitcher. But in 2007, Willis pitched against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium, and he said he pitched 7 scoreless against Chris Carpenter. And that the fans were so good to him in St. Louis, the visiting fans gave him basically a standing ovation when he left the game, which he thought was really cool. He's like, oh, I don't know what I do with this. So that was a fun story, and all triggered by that 2011 team ball. Up next, Ryan Dempster, bunch of golds for him and some heritage. He's great. These three shouldn't be in there, but he actually does a talk show where he does some interviews. He's kind of a media personality now and will interview musicians as well as former athletes. So very kind. You can see these heritages are very fun. Another guy, Brandon Crawford. Thrilled to add him on this set I'm working on, 2021 Topps Heritage. Got his autograph way back in his playing days in 2012, and really nifty signature. I just think he does a really nice job with that. So kind of fun seeing the 2024 Topps Series 2, as well as the update, different uniforms, same set, kind of fun. And I think this is the last guy, I should say, last baseball player from Innings Festival, Jake Peavy, another awesome guy. He actually played in a band. He did a music set with his quote-unquote all-star jam band. They covered some Grateful Dead, some Pink Floyd, and a really enjoyable time there in the afternoon. Signed some autographs after he came off stage. Jessica Mendoza also there, really well-renowned softball player. You can see she's got some Topps and some Allen Ginter cards. She commented on this one when she signed it. She said, oh, that's so cool. You have the relic card. And I said, Jessica, kind of a weird question to ask anyone, I guess. But I was like, what is that relic from? I'm just curious because on the back, it just says memorabilia. It says she's a sportscaster. So I was a little, what is it from? She said, they made me send a USA jersey, which she said she was a little hesitant to do. And that's what it's from. It's from an actual jersey that she sent in. She's like, oh, yeah, my husband had to go out and buy one of these because we think it's a cool card as well. So fun running into her. These felt like bonus autographs. I learned last week that this guy, Adam Ray, probably best known recently for his impersonations. He's a comedian of Dr. Phil and Joe Biden. He was there doing an interview with Ryan Dempster, and I remember that he was in 2023 Topps Allen and Ginter. So bought a couple cards. They arrived on time. Saw him just hanging out with the crowd. Super cool guy, as expected, and hit both of these for me. I was probably the only one there with his cards. All right, so that's the Innings Fest haul. Now we're going to jump into our Rockies and Diamondbacks from a couple of days, few days of spring training practices and games. Starting up first, and this is kind of fun, Ezekiel Tovar. I've probably mentioned him before on this channel. He likes cards himself, and he's a really good guy, great young player for the Rockies. And I actually bought his printing plate from 2026 Topps Series 1. It just came out, within a week of me getting these, and I got him. I was in a one-on-one interaction with him, and I was able to actually get him that printing plate because he collects one-of-one cards. And I just said, hey, if you'd be so kind in return, could you sign, a handful of cards for me? And he's like, sure, of course. Handed him these. He signed them. Quick lesson in signature variation. A lot of players will have different signatures for different settings. Funny enough, these were all signed. I was the only one requesting his autograph, and it was just me. And these are how he signed the 7 cards. And you can see, like, this is the most abbreviated on the black border short print with a print run of 50. This is probably the longest on the relic card. With multiple loops, and you can see these were signed within seconds of each other. He was just signing next, and we had a nice interaction. He was very thankful for the card. He asked me, like, is this new? He hadn't seen it before, so I told him it was 2026 Topps, the printing plate. Not as cool as some of the other cards he has, but still a one-of-one, and he was very thankful and very kind to sign for me those 7 cards. Up next, another great dude, Jeff Criswell, coming back from Tommy John surgery, start the season on the 60-day IL. I have interacted with Jeff before on the topic of cards. We've had a couple conversations. I'm not saying this to act like I'm good buddies with him, because I'm not, but we have interacted. There is some history. He generally remembers who I am. He knows, through social media that I've been working on his quote-unquote rainbow for 2025 Topps update, his rookie card. So you can see, like, this one's numbered to 10. They call it the Black Diamante foil. And I had, like Tovar, Criswell in a one-on-one setting. I was the only one there. I called him over. I said, Jeff, I've been working on your rainbow. It's been a lot of fun. I'm thrilled that Topps made a card for you. I'm not trying to be greedy here, but big fan, would you be willing to sign as many as you're comfortable with? And he's like, sure, man, of course. And it was great. So I handed him these. He was super cool and signed all of them. And as I was signing them, he made a couple comments along the way about the cards. One of the things I told him, I'll pull these to the side for a second, but, like, Topps is out of control. Like, look at these. These are all different. These are all different cards. And I probably even have, I don't know, is there another silver something or other? So I was just trying to explain to him, like, I didn't say it all this verbatim, but for you guys, the viewers, this is the hollow foil. This is the silver hollow foil, Superbox exclusive, sand glitter, diamante foil, and Meyer tinsel. It's just really tough to keep track of. He actually didn't sign one of my pink ones because he thought it was a duplicate. And I want to say Jeff typically doesn't sign duplicates. So he signed this pink one, didn't sign another. He's like, oh, I think I already got that one. And of course, I'm not going to correct him because he doesn't owe me anything and he's being very generous with his time, but it was not a duplicate. They just look really darn similar. He did say when this one came out, he signed this. He's like, oh, that's cool. And I really like that one about the jack-o'-lantern foil. So that was fun. But really great guy. You can see just great progress on the signed rainbow. And of course, like, I don't even think about, like, value or worth with these things. These are sentimental. These are stuff I get for myself. I don't list these for sale. I know a lot of my videos are about listing things for sale on eBay, like unsigned cards, pack pulled cards. But this is just because I'm a Rockies fan. I love baseball and love cards, and I think these look really, really cool together. So that was a highlight. All right, jumping over to the next few, I have these sorted by set, so I'll be hitting kind of between the Rockies and Diamondbacks, but I'm working on the 2021 Topps Heritage, and in this case, Topps Heritage high number sets, getting them signed, all in person or through the mail. I'm not buying these from other people. I am creating memories with each one of these, so I'm always excited when I get these cards signed, and got a few Diamondbacks. James McCann, Mike Soroka, Geraldo Perdomo, a good one. He led the league in WAR, 7.0 WAR last year, and really cool to get that. So that was probably I would say, best one on the Diamondback side, but really thrilled for that. Willie Castro. Quintana was great. This was a good story because I asked him to sign. I was like the only one there asking him, and he said he'd get me after stretching. And that is a common excuse. I don't know if it's meant to be a lie, but it kind of operates as one. A lot of players will say, "Hey, I'll get you after," and then they never come back. Maybe they forget, or maybe they're just trying to brush you off. Jose Quintana, after stretching, which is when he told me, he walked by again, and I tried to get his attention again. I said, "Hey, Jose, could you please sign? You said you'd stop by after." And he walked right past me, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to get Jose Quintana. Classic. I've heard that line before. Well, he was just doing some additional stretching in a different area, and then he immediately came right back to me and signed this card for me, which I thought was really cool. So a lot of Rockies, probably several pitchers did that, kept their word, and it was really nice. So fun there. Here's another one, quick anecdote. Vimael Machin, non-roster invite for the Rockies this year. Very unlikely he will make the team out of spring training. He has been playing baseball for a while. I think he was drafted in 2014 or something. And, he non-roster invite. He's on the set I'm working on. I, to date, have never had a chance to get this card signed. So I actually waited till after the game ended, which a lot of people don't do because it's spring training and the game I went to took forever. But I was trying to get this exact card signed. And so it was fun because I got his attention. He came right over because, of course, I'm probably the only one in the stadium at that point with a Vimael Machin card, only one trying to get his attention. Signed the card for me and then used my pen to sign for a bunch of kids, made their days. And, that's great. So we made good progress on that. Feltner on the 2022 Heritage Rookie card. Kyle McCann, really nice guy. He was great. He's also a non-roster invite, so glad to get him. Bunch of 2025 Heritages. These also I'm working on the complete set, so you can see the Diamondbacks just were awesome. A few Rockies as well, but we got Holman, Tawa, Brandon Pfaadt, really good guy. Gabby Moreno, first time getting him. I will typically try the Diamondbacks when they're in Denver. Never gotten Moreno before. It's harder to get catchers. He signed for everyone. Zach Gallen, who's had a really meaningful career, good pitcher, back with the D-backs on a one-year deal. Fulford, first time getting him, and then new Rocky Willie Castro on both Cubs and Twins. All right, now to our tops cards. Cy Young winner, Doug Drabick. Shout out to my man Dan. I did Diamondbacks practice, kind of a bonus day. I wasn't expecting to stay in town. Didn't have any Drabick cards, and my friend Dan handed me an extra that he had, so got him on the 1987 Tops Traded. Super cool for that. Next two, I think, deserve their own little screen, but look at this. Jordan Pacheco, he's a hitting coach for the Rockies at the major league level. And this guy has one of the most beautiful signatures that exists. And it's been like this his whole career. I got him when he was a player back in 2012. Look the exact same. I mean, this is just incredible. So love these cards. 2013 Tops. New Mexico guy, now with the Rockies. So he was felt at home, I'm sure, coaching for the Isotopes. But I'm sure he's gladly accepting the promotion to the big league squad for this season. Kyle Freeland on the 2021, Michael Lorenzen on the 2021. Michael Lorenzen's really cool because he usually will limit you, and by that I mean if you put out multiple cards, he'll not sign all of them. And I respect that. Again, these guys don't owe me anything. It's totally free. They're very kind with their time. Lorenzen actually will ask, which one do you want signed? I had a Reds card and an Angels card in my little autograph book for him, and I, for whatever reason, just said, hey, let's do the Reds one. So did that. Super cool. Really cool to ask because you don't see that too often. John Brebbia on the 2023 update, I believe. Tommy Henry as well. Fun little signature. We got Sean Dubin. Add this to the stash of cards that I'll probably never finish unless I run into Blair Henley. I've really come around to like the 2024 Topps design. I was like, when these Topps designs, I'm always a little bit, nervous, skeptical on when they come out. But 2024 Topps one came out. I kind of liked it. It kind of looks like neon in the lettering for the team. I like the color gradient from black to white. And I think they look great signed. So I've kind of had a maybe a bias towards getting those signed across, instead of other sets if I have the luxury of choosing. 2025's, I would say okay. I like it. I don't dislike it. I don't think it's bad, but I prefer 2024. So got these from the 2025 set. Valente Beozo was nice. He told me he would like to get his 1/1 debut patch from 2024 Topps Chrome update, I think is the set that's in. So that was fun interaction. Carson Palmquist, he signed the Golden Mirror. Love getting these signed. So he was cool. I think Palmquist respects the card game. I didn't talk to him about that, but I did mention hey, this is one of your rare parallels. It's oh, cool. And kind of at least said something along the lines of that he hadn't really seen this one or something, which makes sense because it's a low print run. Juan Mejia, got him at Rockies Fest a month ago, but had him sign the Rainbow Foil and the Sand Glitter because I had them on hand, so that was fun. Up next, we got some minor league set cards. One trick I'd recommend if you're into the autograph game is go ahead and buy the minor league sets for the team you root for, because they're like the Rockies. These guys are going to be up and down between, AA is Hartford, AAA is these two, Albuquerque. Wellington Herrera's on the 40-man roster. He probably won't start the season in the major leagues, but he's down there at camp. And, maybe later this year he'll be up. Same thing with, Braxton Fulford. He's on the big league team. I bought this card 2 years ago, not thinking twice about it. And, of course, he is now on the big league team. Warren Schaefer used to be a coach, and now he is the manager. He's the big skipper in the big league. So that's kind of fun. Quick story on this one. There are a bunch of kids waiting around the bullpen for autographs, and kids often, you'll hear about, adults seeking autographs, kids seeking autographs, whatever. I'm not going to dive into the opinion on that. One thing I'll say is kids normally are reluctant to say players' names. They'll be like, hey, pitcher, or hey, catcher, or hey, number, whatever, which just, isn't extremely respectful, but they just don't know who they're asking. They just want the signature. And Bryant Betancourt, I recognize him. I know who he is. I've gotten his autograph before. There are a bunch of kids standing there. They're not asking him for a signature. And so I'm the only one. I have his card, surely the only one with his card there. I said, Bryant, could you please sign this card? He comes right over, signs for me, and then immediately 20 kids get in line, and he makes their day as well. And so I, just in terms of who's seeking autographs, one big lesson is you have to get their attention. And of course, you should be respectful about it. But I got his attention. No one else was asking. He was standing right there doing nothing, signed this card for me, and then he stuck around and signed for all the kids and other fans around, which I thought was really fun. So one thing I like to do is I'll help people get players' attention. I can recognize them. I know who they are better than most just because I'm, a fan. I know what's going on. Up next, some Bowmans. These are pretty cool. Gabriel Hughes, green. Gabriel Hughes, blue. And Hunter Goodman on the first refractor. It's kind of a real fun card. So nice to get that one. Hunter Goodman was an all-star last year. I've been toting this card around for a bit. Nice to get some signature on it. He's got a cool one. Here's a guy with a really short signature. It's kind of like an AA check, but it's a Topps Now spring training exclusive pack numbered to 25, which is fun. Then we got some randoms to finish this up. We got green rainbow foil, I think is what they call it, for Freeland. Jared Thomas again on a pro debut. Jimmy Herget, side arming or low arm slot reliever on the old Bowman. So he got a chuckle when I was like, oh, well, he actually signed this one first, and then he kind of started moving away, but then he saw this one too. I was like, oh yeah, could you please sign that one way back from 2015? And he kind of chuckled. He's like, yeah, that was a long time ago. So Jimmy Herget, good to get him. Pitchers are tough during the regular season at home because they're doing their jobs. They're getting to and from the bullpen. Don't really have good access to sign. Saw Corey Sullivan walking around. Bet you I was the only one to ask for his autograph. He was just out there walking. He's on the TV crew for the Rockies. A few more golds, Palmquist again, Brebbia again, and then finally wrapping it up with the Bowman base, Drew Jones. So thank you for watching. I had a blast. I love doing this stuff, love in-person autographs, and hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful. Have a great day. Of course, a little postscript here because I forgot something that I think is really exciting. The Rockies team ball. So you always forget about the team ball, but this was awesome. Look at this signature from manager Warren Schaefer. I showed you his signature on the cards is different than what he will give on a baseball. So check this out. We got the kind of WS4 he does on cards, and then he does his full every letter kind of printed first name, cursive last name. I think it's really fun. This ball's super cool because it has a Rockies logo on it. It's official Major League Baseball. Got Brendan Bernardino, Chase Dolander, Jaden Hill, Pearson Ole. That one kind of stings because he just got announced he's getting Tommy John surgery yesterday. I'm a little bit of a purist with these things. So Pearson Ole will not pitch a game for the Rockies this season, yet he will be on my 2026 team ball. Not the worst problem to have. He's on the 40-man roster, but you know, it's from a stat perspective. If you look at his stats, you won't see him pitching for the Rockies this year. Another gamble I took, Sean Sullivan, real good young prospect, got him on the ball. He may or may not make the Rockies at some point this year, but figured I'd get him anyways. I think he will. He's been really good in the minors. He did put his number 85, what he's wearing in spring. He surely would not wear that if he made the majors. All these I've had at Rockies Fest, and then hidden below this little holder, Seth Halverson, you can't see. But wanted to share this because I just think this ball looks super cool. I love the colors of the seams matching the team colors for the Rockies. So with that, that is surely it for this video. Stick around. Hope you like this content. We'll catch you next time.